believe some of us might have watched this video I'm about to play and share right now, but I want you to listen and watch it again so we can analyze the video very well. Just market structure, no sentiment, just market structure. Please, if you have your own comment or own different idea, please comment on the comment section. Give us your opinion. But this is purely our own analysis based on market structure and based on what we can get in Nigerian market. So let's watch it together.
Good day, everyone. Yesterday, I sustained injuries last night around past 10, and I ended up in the hospital because my landlord has shut down the light in my home for the last 72 hours. I was rushed to the hospital yesterday with my son because I slipped and fell, and I've injured my shoulder and my lower back. This harassment by Nigerian landlords has to end, and somebody has put a voice to it, and I'm going to lend my voice to this situation until something is done about it, until the government steps in and does something about it. Because for your rent to be increased by almost 300, for my rent to be increased by over 300%, I'm going to add the exact figures, 390 something percent. And for that reason, as a tenant, I asked for a staggered payment, which they offered, which they gave, and I actually complied. And because of that, the landlord now wants to evict me again, so that he can bring in other people that are going to start paying 50 million or more, or so that he can increase more than what he has already given me. He has already evicted 4 homes in this building. This is a building of only 6 tenants. He has evicted 4 families last year because he wanted to increase the rent, and because the amount he wanted to increase the rent to was ridiculous and outrageous. They ended up leaving. I pleaded. I found somebody who knew him and went to his office to meet him to plead, because I had my mother in a health situation at the time. I was under duress. The increments that he gave me for my rent, I had to agree. I had nowhere to send my mom and my son to. As of this morning right now, I have just sent my son now to my mom's house because I had to get my mom a new house a month after I agreed to the new rent that he gave me for this house. I communicated all of this to the facility management. Now you want to evict me. Fine, even if you want to evict me, why do you not do it through the court? Why do you not do it through the legal route and through the legal system? Why do you have to come and bully and threaten me and cut off my life for days? Because you don't have a voice. Because it's a lawless country. Because the person who is doing it has so much money. Last night he slept in his home with his family with light, but cut off another family's light after collecting money. After collecting money, how do you increase rent? And even after doing that, the tenant agrees and asks for just a staggered payment. You give your tenant the staggered payment. She pays you. She pays you. Now let me state that my landlord is one of the biggest real estate people on the island. He has several homes. He has over 300 homes or over 100 at the very minimum. And I'm going to mention the name of the companies once I speak to my lawyers and I have the right to do that. They have over 300 homes. So this home of 6 tenants is not what is going to make him any wealthier than he already is. And I'm not asking for pity that, oh, we do not want to pay. No. Every single person he kicked out was willing to pay. But they did not have the audience that I got, because I had to find somebody who knew him personally to take me to his office in order to grant an audience, to speak with him, to plead with him. And I had to stay, and I wanted to stay because everything, my son's school, my mother's health, I was in no position to move. I had just faced demolition of my stores. Pleaded and paid. I paid. I'm going to do everything I need to do. I'm going to set up a website about this. I'm going to ask everybody that this is currently happening to, it has happened to sign a petition. We have to go to the government. This cannot continue.
Okay, as someone who is into real estate and has helped many draft tenancy agreement, I would like to say this, and I would like to be factual as possible. Is it right or is it lawful? Because the difference between being right, morally right, and being something that is right morally and something that is lawful. And so, is it lawful for a landlord to evict a tenant for rent increment? That is what we are discussing here. According to the tenancy law, there is no restriction on landlords to increase tenancy rate or whatever the tenant pays. So it is on the discretion of the landlord to increase his rent based on market analysis. If the location has increased, landlord will also increase. We function on a speculative market in Nigeria. Sometimes demand and supply plays a role, and also inflation plays a role as well. So inflation cannot be at 15% and the landlord keeps his rent at the same price every year. You look at it and it's not factual. It's not factual. It's actually not obtainable business-wise. A second thing you need to look at is that Nigerian landlords build their house by themselves. They build the house by themselves. They face the risk by themselves. Now, it is now morally right for landlords to treat their tenant well, because your tenant is your customer. So if you decide to treat your tenant wrong, that is where the matter breaks. So it is right for landlord to treat their tenant rightly, to help them to face the challenges normally. So because you see, this country, many people are complaining. Also, the landlord is also complaining, the tenant is also complaining. For instance, some landlord that watch this video would actually support the landlords. People that own properties, that has built properties, or that has tenants in their properties will support the landlord's behavior. Why people that are living as tenants will support the lady complaining? But one thing you should take home is that the Nigerian real estate space is actually very, very dicey, and it's highly on speculation. The main thing is that if she sues, the court will decide. It's not based on her evidence against the landlord's evidence. But to tell you, the reality is that that location she's mentioning, according to the tenancy law in Lagos, that location is exempted from restriction. It didn't that location did not restrict landlord from increasing. So tenancy rate can be increased in that location at any time, at any day. The only thing is that if they increase it and you cannot pay, they might allow your tenancy to expire before they bring in new person. So, but there's something she said that her tenant rent is still running. That is another objection that probably would be put in place if that is still running, meaning the landlord needs to consider and look into it very well. So tenancy law might not favor everybody at any time. So the reason landlords increase their money is based on market behavior. So sometimes you see that here is increasing, here is increasing, here is increasing. And if you look at what she said that the landlord increased it to 392%.3. So what that means is that she was paying below that 300 and something percent. And she said that landlord wants to bring somebody else that will pay 50 million, meaning currently she's paying below 50 million. If you do the math, she was paying between 10 million thereabout, because if you do 390 something percent of 10 million, it's around 30 something million. Probably she might pay less than maybe 20 million plus or 25 million plus in that location. So they now made it maybe like 50 million, that is times 2 of it. It's to the discretion of the landlord. If somebody want to come into that place to pay that amount, fine and good, she can vacate for the person. So she has to get to another location that she will be able to pay for it part time. So that is the reality we find ourselves in until things probably get better, falls in place. The government supports the people that are building to build well, and give them at least a little cushioning or subsidy in material, in building, in construction. That is only when you can be able to say, okay, put this price or peg it at this price. But for now, it's speculative, and let's just deal with it like that. And that is my opinion. If you think you have a contrary opinion, please give your comment, and also let's hear what you have to say about it.